Your family NYANSATV, a beautiful time in South Africa. Many Apostle Harry Musah Adams and I say. Now, we receive beautifully. I say, you be doing come on. Make sure you are firm. Anyway, you are baby drew. I be shock you. Until the men say, men don't just rise. Nipan sorry can from goes through. In the meeting, so I can say, men don't just fall. Very serious topic. If you are rising, you must hear this. If you are falling, you must hear this. You can change your story because on the highway of life, your speed doesn't determine your destination. Because if you are driving 180 kilometers per hour, now a wrong route, so it will never get you to your destination. You must humble yourself and make a U-turn and get on the right route before that speed can get you somewhere. I'm asking these questions. Men don't just fall. Men don't just rise. You try me waba. High South Africa. Pretoria. But then over the area cry. Yes, I say. Me damo mo me ase. Dog palm, doctor in your palm. Sabasheba Center. It's off penny. That's a support the money for this trip to South Africa. I mean, show to penny senior prophet give you see. Mammy Jimpa, they don't too much no support. Bibi away Kadia so yastane, Sikafe Bibia Fabiadamasi, Madame and Yababi Duasi, Name that Allied Consortium, I say, almost Atayachi Papa, Allied Consortium, more Ewahase, or more real estate or Ghana, or real estate, Babia, or more Eboijuma. Or when I did the foreign system of where you can still live in the house and start paying that 2-bedroom, no matter your salary, your 500 Ghana per, he gives you opportunity to live in and keep on paying gradually. Allied Consortium, see you with us, Papa, Yami, Insha Papa, no, Kuma, any Adrian Pa or more my Ghana. That's it. If I'm NYANSATV, the base here. Mr. Papa.
Yeah.
But I can't call.
Adam.
But that's it. No time.
I said that.
Pretoria. Pretoria. My baby South Africa.
Akwaba.
NYANSATV is in the building.
Akwaba.
Thank you for the warm reception. Thank you for the coffee. Everything.
We give God
the drive-through and everything.
It is.
Charlie, what made the president know? Who's in penny pan and farm? Charlie, NYANSATV. Yeah, is how. Yeah, not from Sao. Boko. Yeah, that's me brave. Apostle Harry Musah Adams. Actually, didn't be able to come Canadian fans. Doctor number.
No.
Yeah, that's it. But just have been no.
Dominion Family Ministries.
Dominion Family Ministries.
Yes. For now, Ewaha as the headquarters. And it doesn't have branches, but it has affiliations.
Affiliations, okay. Yes, across the world?
Across the world.
Countries like where?
US, Nigeria, obviously Ghana, and Tanzania, Switzerland, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, and UK, and also the Caribbeans.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's it. Akwaba. Then I catch you for Omedi from Ghana, Baby South Africa.
Oh,
NYANSATV.
As the mamo say, you still maintain your loyalty with the channel. Wow. And you damase and you believe we say you model affair for Becca home. I'm a NYANSATV family in your group.
Oh, yeah. Did I say? What bread was it? But I shall say free home. But see, didn't come up to me. Could tell on a day with me here at the Bunny Pamanipa. Sorry. Meti was sembi and anything I'm very here. Na meti is our preaching, not per se. I'm saying not TB. Now we and at the end preaching. It's going to be more interview. They tell us more about it. Then people will get to learn about it. You know, said the preaching is from your own life experiences and Nema what Ghana over the years. As a Ghanaian prophet, maybe you're free. I know you come all the way from the northern part of Ghana.
Yes.
Ubabi doing crack when you're quite a so I'll be trapped here. Do South Africa now. So say men don't just fall. This is serious a topic.
Yes, sir.
Men don't just rise.
Yes, sir.
Men don't just fall.
Yes, sir.
And no command person anyway. When you see this word, men don't just rise up.
Yes, sir.
When they give birth to you, you go through that process of crawling, you begin to live step by step, you begin to get to the walking stage, the running stage. You just grow, you get up there. So we are rising, that's it. Either you like it or yes, you will rise. So when you mention men don't just rise, tell me what you want to imply.
Men don't just rise. With the mechia, Ashafo near T4 say, or more, I've make it time to connect with this interview. Now, me bompire say, enye ya adwene, me enye ye intention, na enye di osuru nyankopon. Asheshe se obi entie for their next level. Men don't just rise. All kind of book of Isaiah chapter number 60 was say, arise, shine. Neka ega kwese ya se obi etimi sorry arise e shine was arise shine for thy light has come wo light aba. Nese your rising has to do with your access to particular light, and this light connotes to revelation. Or say there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. The sons of Issachar who understand time and season and knowing what Israel ought to do. If you see men rising, there is something they have done that others wouldn't do.
Please go back again. Take your time, take it again.
If you see men rising, consciously or unconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly to them, there is something they have done that others wouldn't be willing to do.
Either they know or they don't know. They have done something that is rising them.
What kind of story of Jacob?
Push it.
What kind of story of Jacob? Laban cheated him. Now what they shed the Laban kind. Also, yenfa religion tonche ne yenfa sentiment tonche. Yenka nyame adwene. Laban catchere Jacob say, don't you know that I, Laban, not God, I have the power to hurt you. Paul Maetias here say, we are not fighting against flesh and blood. Enti so bibetimi pie free busua bim abeyo dephobia. They must be able to conquer what defeated their father. So obibetimi abeye trailblazer, obibetimi abeye a pioneer of something new. They have to be custodians of revelation. Peter rose upon revelation. Yes, bisa omo question was, who do men say I am? As at now, if your life is being directed by public opinion, you have not started living.
So you picky as some prayer working.
Yes, sir.
So me person me di if I want to make it in life,
yes, sir,
or if I'm rising, something has been done. Let's take a time and digest that point. How will I know? You say let's put religion aside. Let's put it, so far as something something has maybe knowingly or unknowingly you have done something.
Yes,
that is creating that change.
Yes.
Can it be positive or negative?
It could be either. It could be. It can go anyway. John 10:10, he said, the thief cometh not except to steal, kill, and to destroy. Whatever you give attention to, you attract, and whatever you attract influence your life. And at the end of the day, we share the life of Samson. Okachile Delilah say, my secret is that razor must not touch my hair. Our life and destiny are coded.
Our life and destiny
are coded. Until you find the code, you might have the right to your destiny, but you will not have access to its manifestation.
Take your time. Our lives are coded.
Obia and show be and kwayawade. 1,000 people might fail on the same journey. That does not make it your story. Abia, you are the first after the 1,000 to excel. Thousands of soldiers could not face Goliath. David was not a soldier man. So there are some battles, they are not won by soldiers. So in as much as men have rejected you, ignore you, when you understand the code of your destiny, there is no way. So for ukita ATM card, which is yours. Now because I could do ATM, now will be some questions around. No,
the password you're doing.
It gives you the right of uniqueness.
So my life, do I need to know myself that much to identify that code?
Yes.
How do I do that? Take your time and take us through it.
Also, Jeremiah 1, verse 5, the Bible will tell us, before I formed you, I knew you. The summary of it is, I ordain you to be a prophet. Adi biana ifri nyankopon enum beba. Connected with B. There is no force from hell that could stop it. B. Se nyame hyese or kase emremo ebebam. Into say, I ordain you to be. Ordination has to be empowerment. Makodu life. Akwaya se reverse gear. Ya kodu no. We mistake. So we pen tam we why. So we mistake. Now the koto reverse. No matter how your intention, your pursuit, your expectations are, ubunsa brabono ebe started to walk backwards because it's coded.
The code R is taking you back.
It's R. You need to understand it. Say ekose ya say neko. Ekose ya say neko.
Are we all running on the same pedestal? Is it the same code pertaining to each and everyone?
Was say all things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. Into code, nefapim ninaye the purpose of God for your life.
So, who determined this purpose? I am here. Prophet says that you become a mighty journalist across the world. You see those things. Is that enough grounds for me to say that, oh, this is what I'm called for and I'm doing it?
Also, apart from prophecy, there must be a confirmation.
Okay.
Apart from I saw in a bomb pie when Peter was in the prison.
Acts 12.
Acts chapter 12. When Herod decided to vex certain authorities of the church. What did Peter go to prison? Peter could not even, he was not himself. Situation, were an apostle, but
all hopes were lost.
All hope were lost. Prayer were offered by the church for him. But the Bible said at the point in time when he came out, the Bible said he came to himself.
He thought he was dreaming.
He came to himself and he realized it has been a deliverance by an angel. And there is a self-awareness, self-realization of who you are. Jesus was able to defeat the enemy and every challenges because of his understanding of who he is. Was say, I am. I and my Father are one. Or he believed in who he is.
So you should know yourself.
You should know yourself. Also, Mayenka no credential. Those days, yaria ne timi kum nipa. Ene enkum nipa sa. Adie bia ne ye friend no pandemic no. Right? A bedroom maybe na be normal yaria you COVID. All right? Why? Because men will rise to understand how to approach. Adi bia woniki. Adi bia woniki. Also for adi bia e won solution. Adi bia wanakadie. No matter how big the person is. Bibi etime was on. Entina was say lean not unto your own understanding.
In all your ways, acknowledge him. He will direct your path. Also, say about David, the city of David, Abel, taking everything that belongs to this man. It look as if said tracing it will be difficult. But the first thing David did was to inquire from God. What must I do? Call me Abiathar. Now, one kokeke say, well, you David into because of he has access to prayer, you could just pray. Your problem.
You must inquire from the right people.
It's not just about inquiry. You must also understand the procedure for the inquiry.
Ya wo mekete maame me papa kane na ke wa kola keto a abusua na nkasa kwa ye hwehwim bebi akola ni ti free ni nchiti sen ofiri na ba na ba na wasan bayi say na ti di nya daje
yes sir
ye hwehwimu yie
yes sir
akola na chi wade di ni kwan so die and it is no more.
It's no more. And the sad part of this is it has brought a displacement of destiny and potentials. Sebi obi a friend kwasia no onya kwasia o. But we have not been able to decode the code of it, the person's destiny.
Tino be o keka kono. No aso was say kosa.
She say also men don't just rise.
Talk to me.
Men don't just rise. Say obi betimi e break it through from one level to another level. Nyoma sisi.
Never been a tesisi. For all the right, let me find some feeling here. Say, never been a timisi money, Massa.
Oh, show also for be you, no me, no matter what it is, no. The first place of survival is to be spiritual.
To be spiritual.
Spiritual.
Not religious.
Not religious, be spiritual.
What is spiritual? What is religious?
Religion has to do with a belief and way of doing things as pertaining to our whoever we believe. So nyankopon ye say now we offer ourselves to a particular sect of behavior. Say yen de say na no.
Okay.
To show say ye Christopher say enti
Pentecostal
the walls to be abasesa won kaye kasa yen yi wonni.
The Roman suffer preaching
and these days, no, there have been barriers. But the most important thing is that the glory must go to the Creator.
So what about spiritual?
Spirituality has to do with having access to the realms beyond the natural.
Talk to us. When you mention realms beyond the natural.
Realms beyond the natural, no, sunsum wiase. Na ye ka sunsum wiase a Bible say Peter ni Jesus dialogue bi. Na Yesu share no ka chen say get thee behind me Satan. He was able to understand say hom na influence sa to trust him enye Peter. Hom bi na shase. A man that could not hear, could not speak. The Bible called him deaf and dumb. Yesu by and he rebuked the demon of deaf and dumb. And immediately when the demon left, the man started speaking. Hum bi te abusua bi mu a eye honhom a eye honhom breguo. Enti se breguo honhom fight o family. One hwe ya wo battles ebeye against your uncle a wo bisa ni sika wa ma wo boss bi a wo underpay wo ni ade. Go beyond those things. Spiritual people are lions. They don't negotiate.
How do I become a spiritual person if you mention this to me?
To be spiritual person, the Bible says God is spirit. So the source of our spirituality is our connection to God.
If you mention God in this context, what do you mean?
Your boss, the creator.
Now, who is the creator?
You see,
so many people believe in different things. They are saying even there is nothing like God. People have different names for it. Is it nature you're talking about? Is it the energies? I want to be.
If your mother or your uncle's name is not connected to the creator of the architect behind the architectural the architect behind the sky, if your uncle's name is not there, before you doubt the existence of God, ask yourself, who did it? Who did it? When you look into the Quran and say, Fabiai Allah Rabbukumatika Ziban. With all these things that you've seen, what is it that God has not given to you? That you are such ungrateful?
They don't believe there is God.
That you don't believe there is God. The Bible says a fool says in his heart that there is no God. When you look at the happenings of your life, even your unbelief is on God's assignment. Yes, your unbelief. God said, I made Pharaoh to be the way he is, so that there should be a man that will not believe until they see. So these signs shall follow them that believe. It is not for you because you have already believed, but it will follow you so that when you encounter people that doubt, by the manifestation of the signs and wonder grace upon your life, they will believe.
So if you mention spirituality and connect it to God, I want you to explain that part well for me.
The Bible talks about God is spirit, and he that worship him must worship him in truth and in spirit.
But we are also spirit, because he created it in that image.
I'm coming there.
Yes.
So now, for you to have this link with God, your material, your physical body is immaterial. It doesn't play any role there.
The body doesn't play a role.
See, sir, it can decay, it can be destroyed. If the spirit is alive, the body will comply. There are spiritual giants who do not appear as giant physically.
But the spirit still need the body to be on this planet.
But
because
the master in the game, in the equation, is not the body.
I understand, but then
it is the spirit. The car, no matter whether you call it G-Wagon, whether it is a Hammer Jeep, what controls the car is the engine. So the strength, the size of the car is not the physical.
So I'm also with this analogy that without the body, the engine cannot function itself.
Without the body, the engine cannot function. But without the body, the engine can function. Because the engine can function as engine.
But it can run.
As engine.
It can perform as a car.
The body is the manifestation of what is happening behind the scene.
Because if I want to go to the skies, if I want to go to the moon, I need a certain kind of attire to be there.
Yes.
Okay, so if the spirit want to come here, he need this body attire to exist here.
But what I'm saying here, the spirit entering into a body has nothing to do with the spiritual realms.
Okay, so let's move it.
It has everything to do with the physical realm, so that that which is intangible can become tangible. So the Bible says, John chapter number 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
So the body is
and the Word became flesh. The reason why the Word became flesh, so that we can see what was in the spirit.
So it is playing a very key role, right?
Very key.
That is what I want us to just make, that the body is playing a role, because this body is created for this. This tongue is created for this. When I'm speaking,
the emphasis should not be on the body.
Okay, so let's move.
The emphasis should be
on the spirit.
On the spirit.
Let's move it.
Just as you have all these gadgets here, doesn't make it the light. Doesn't make it the light. What brings and what constitutes the light is the power. So you hear God saying in the book of Deuteronomy, he say, it is I the Lord that giveth thee power to make wealth. Power to make wealth. How many believers believe that there is power that you can contact to be able to make, not to look, not to seek, not to fight for, not to die, not to kill for, but make?
We're trying to pick a particular topic in,
Yes.
in this realm, if I want to make it, men don't just rise.
They don't
so
just
we are
rise.
making a link between the spiritual and religion. Being a religious person, being a spiritual person. This is the emphasis we are trying to make. So you're drawing a line, if I have to mention only religion, it's just certain principles by certain people claiming that this is how God is supposed to serve God. Then the spirituality become the true you, in line with the Creator, right? Is that what you're trying to make? Then let's take from there. I want us to get that particular tangent.
With aspects of men don't just rise. Also for there is what to do.
Tell us something.
It's
won't rise.
cause and effect.
Okay.
The Bible says Jesus met a man by the pool of Bethesda for 38 years.
John 5.
That man has been in that condition. He struggled. He tried. In the eyes of men, he's a hardworking person.
The beginning of that particular chapter is so sweet to me. They were having a feast in the city. Meanwhile, at that the brooch, people were suffering.
People were suffering. But the point here is that this man had all the qualities according to the 7 and 8 principles of success. He was hardworking, he was determined, he was consistent, he was persevering. He had all these qualities. And he kept going there. He kept going there for 38 years. And the Bible says at a point in time, Jesus came after the whole show and asked the man, do you want to be well? This question is to everyone that is watching. Do you want to be well? Do you want to be prosperous? Do you want to be healed? Do you want to rise? Do you want to be great? Do you want to marry? Do you want to travel? Whatever it is.
Give us the key.
Do you want to be well? The man gave the answer that is obvious. Everyone watching will give the same answer. He said, I have no one to help me. Who told you that your life is connected to somebody? And even if it is connected to somebody, who is that person? Is it everyone that you meet on the street? That's why I'm saying your life is coded. This man said to Jesus, I have no man to help me. Anytime I get closer, almost to the finishing line, almost to the breakthrough, almost to the line of success, almost to a place where the lines are falling onto me in a pleasant places. When I am there, when I am almost there, this is the word. And that is why everybody born of God must desire to be powerful, must desire to be spiritual. He said, not that I have not tried, not that I have not opportunity of winning, but when I get close, someone stronger. What did the person did to make them stronger than me? Someone stronger will take my place.
So let's use this analogy of someone stronger.
Yes, sir.
It means that their strength doesn't come from one point.
No.
Everybody has his own connections that give that strength. Right?
Source.
That everybody has his own source that really help them to be that stronger to overtake.
Yes, sir.
So I want us to link this to our individual lives. I want to get there. Everybody's trying. Here in South Africa, you get up in the morning. I was walking in the streets of Jovel, Hebrew. I was just going up and down. I realized that in the morning, people are actively moving here and there, trying to make life. But just that thing doesn't happen. I see beggars on the road begging for money. I give some of them money and all that. So I want to understand. Everybody is trying to do something, but just that it is not happening. Why?
Yes. Sir, the reason, as I'm saying, Jesus said to the man, do you want to be well? Say yes. Obvious. I've tried. I've been in this game. I'm here. If anything should convince you, I'm here. But still, rise up, pick up your bed and walk. Who told you that your healing, deliverance will come by following the same religious practice?
Doing the fasting, doing the 21 days, going to the prayer camps, trying to always give. Just
you can go on 40 days or 40 years fasting. Your breakthrough, in the eyes of men, you have become spiritual. But your breakthrough might be connected to you turning back to that person that you are harboring unforgiveness.
Just forgive.
Just forgive the person and it will happen. That's why I'm saying our lives are coded. Somebody, no matter, Jesus met a blind man. Bartimaeus, he met him, and the Bible says, he said, according to thy faith, be well. And he regained his sight. Jesus did not even touch him. He did not even pray for him. He just said, according to thy faith. He met another blind man, and the Bible said, this time around, Jesus looked at the man. He took the sand, spattered on it, anointed the face of the man, now sent him to a particular river called Sineon and said, go and wash your face there. It tells you our lives are coded. You can never use ABSA ATM card. Or you cannot use ABSA account number to go to FNB and you want to withdraw or you want to make a deposit. It doesn't work.
You can't go and take your old Barclays Bank ATM and go to ABSA now and say, I want to withdraw with that ATM.
It's not possible.
It doesn't work.
So this man is a type of church members who can be connected to the pastor. They are loyal. They have been in that church for years. They are the groundbreakers. But it seems like all the miracle that is happening in that church elude them. Why? Because they are following religion. Oh, sister so-and-so prayed and God heard her. Let me pray. Brother so-and-so did this and God heard her. What is
they might even be in the wrong church.
Wrong church. Wrong motive. Wrong pursuit. So when I say men don't just rise, there are certain foundational principles and discipline that one must observe.
So you must know the real point of core of that your problem.
You need to know.
The source of yours.
You need to know. To Jacob, Laban said, I have the power to hurt you. Imagine your uncle has the power to hurt you. Jesus now will speak and say, I give unto you all powers to tread upon serpents and scorpions and all the works of the enemy. Nothing shall by any means hurt you. So it means without this power, Laban can hurt you. What constitutes hurting? You are about to get married. You've spent years with this man. He was nobody. You were actually the one sponsoring him. Now he became somebody that you believe this is my harvest time. This is my reward time. A time that at least he can now afford to marry me. He went and married somebody else. You'll be hurt without you knowing that Laban somewhere has the power to engage certain element to make sure you get hurt.
So let me go deeper in this area. So for example, your analogy with this married thing. If you are not, if that man is not your husband to be, but you've stayed with this man for all these years in your mind, this man must marry me, and that man is not ordained for you, and you are forcing, and God want to say, this is not a man, go, you are still not going, and God pushes this man to another woman, will you say it's a breakthrough for the woman or not?
Which woman?
The woman that the man has disappointed.
Okay.
Right? So he has disappointed him because God doesn't want them to marry because. So will you say God has disappointed this woman?
Success has a way.
Talk to us.
Success has a way of confirming things. Success has a way, or results has a way of resolving arguments. All right. Now, Joseph wouldn't have been able to say to the brothers that you meant it for evil, God turned it for my good, until the good is in view.
So you must first discover what the challenge is.
As per your question, if a woman is with a man that is not according to the will of God to be her husband, and at the point where she encounter whatever grace, that God pushed that man away, at that particular time, in reality, with the eyes of men, it will bring hurt. She'll be heartbroken. But then, if she is spiritual, there will be an understanding within her spirit, according to the book of Jeremiah chapter number 29:11. He said, I know the thought I think towards you, a thought of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Now the Bible says, in the midst of all these things, the next question would have been, how then would I be able to tell if my breakdown is the will of God? If the pain I'm going through temporarily now is the will of God, what will be able to show that? The Bible said the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. These are the spiritual components that separate the righteous from the unrighteous, the children of God and the unbelievers. The Bible says 1,000 will fall on your side, 10,000 on your right side. As for you, it will not come near you. Why? He that dwells in the secret place of the Musah. This is what we're talking about. There is a secret place of the Musah that compels the rising of men. There is a secret place of the Musah that enforces our rising.
There's a woman that came, who was listening to me on radio, Happy FM, greetings to my listeners in Ghana. She was listening and I was talking about who we are. And that day I was telling them about marriage. I did counseling. I'm a counselor by profession. I was touching on the principles of marriage and the process and the stages. So the very beginning, which started with the lovey thing, I went into detail, realizing stage, and she realized she has been with this man for so long a time, and the man has gotten married without her notice. That day she was in the room listening. She called and said, I wanted to end it all after all, what, because I'm 44 years. I think all is lost. And I told her one thing. If this man wake up the next morning and give you poison instead of going to marry, will you have been happy? The woman just got up and said, this is the word. And from that day, he stopped thinking about that man and the new wedded whatever. And till date, he will call you and said, that word, I was going to finish it all. So it means that there are certain words, people that must come into the scene to change that story for you. My key principle, my key point here is that I want to rise. I want to get somewhere. What should I do now? I'm confused. Not only one thing, I want to look at the generality of my rising. I want to look at the you see, it doesn't just look at the end, but I'm looking at the principle. Where I am 40 years already, and I'll be there around 70, some around 60. 40 years already, 20 years left. I'm confused in the middle of the storms. And you're telling me the stories. I don't know how to go back and start again. What should I look for? So that men that are rising, even 60 years, women are getting married. I am here confused. What should I do? I want to understand the key principles I must look out for.
First and foremost, connect to the prophetic atmosphere and its demands.
Explain.
In every season, there is what God wants to do. And the Bible said the Lord God will not do a thing unless he first reveal it unto his servants, the prophet. Now, when you take the story of Rebekah, the servant of Abraham was tasked to look for a wife. Rebekah, for whatever reason, she was still not married. So it could be a foundational issue. It could be a curse. It could be mistakes that she made before. It could be certain things that...
It could be God's purpose.
It could be God's purpose. But at a point in time, the servant prayed a prayer and said, oh Lord, let the woman that I will ask of water, that on her own decide to feed the donkey also. Now comes the word again. Let her be the woman ordained for Isaac. Now the Bible said before he finished praying, Rebecca came. He asked her, please can I have water? Rebecca was able to connect to the atmosphere, the prophetic atmospheric voice and demand to know that the answer to my elevation now is to feed the donkey also.
So will you say that from childhood, Rebecca has been prepared for that day, as in her principle,
and she should not miss it.
Her actions,
all her obedience,
her training,
her lifestyle, her attitude, her character was actually guiding her into the plan of God.
So you could be ordained for that purpose, but your actions and those things can take you out.
It can take you out. Because Jacob was ordained for the blessing, but he missed the name. So until the name was restored unto him, the blessing, no matter how he fight for it, he won't get it. So it's simple things, and you need a spiritual person.
But there was no ritual there. What was the ritual in this Rebecca's case?
It was a ritual.
Talk to me.
The ritual is that she must feed the donkey, not one, not two. She must feed all the donkey. That was the ritual. It's just like asking Naaman, who was afflicted with leprosy, to say, go and wash yourself 7 times in Jordan. It's ritual.
I understand. I'm talking about, is that not just
Rebecca's own, for her to feed the donkey over above, because the donkeys were 10.
And is that not attitudinal kind of something, behavior kind of something?
Wait.
This is who I am. I'm cultured to do this almost every time.
Remember what I said, that something she has been doing.
Okay. So it must correspond with your actions.
Who you are.
Okay.
That is why you need, it's not just something alone saying that if the razor touches my hair, I will lose my strength. The dangerous thing Samson said is that it's not just about losing my strength. When I lose my strength, I will become like any other man. And this is why we are killing one another. This is why we are lying against one another. This is why we are manipulating things. We are destroying one another, pull him down to rise. There is no man that has encountered the blueprint of their destiny that have time to gossip, have time to break, to pull somebody down. You are too blessed. Jesus never. Jesus never.
I want to
look at on anybody to say, I desire to be. He knew who he was.
So I want to have that blueprint of my life.
Yes.
To understand the ritual I'm supposed to go through. Because my ritual might not be your ritual.
Yes, sir.
My destiny might be in South Africa, but I'm living in Ghana. My destiny might be in Ghana, but I'm living in Botswana. I'm supposed to be in Ghana, but somebody said I'm going to US, so I've also paid money and flew to US and all that. So I want to understand my blueprint. How do I do it?
Number one, remember what I said. The first point of your takeoff will have to start with returning to God. Finding your way to God. Because he created you. He has a plan for your life. And there are certain things. It's so easy. There are simple things that govern our lives. That will make us understand. Because when Isaac was about to bless Esau, by culture, it was right. But by prophecy, it was wrong. And it took the person that made inquiry of her beginning, that understood what needs to be done in the prime of time.
So who will help us do this inquiry? We want to be sure. You don't want lies. A prophet standing there telling you, you are this, you are blessed, you are that, and still you're suffering. In that church, you've been there 10 years. Every day you see prophecy. When they are praying, you fall down almost every time. But still, nothing is changing.
That is a religion.
You know that you are there. You're receiving the prophecies.
That's religion. You know, I will say something to you.
Talk to me.
I have a daughter in the church who has been with me, I believe, over 6 years now, 6, 7 years. Not long ago, we had a meeting, a conference, and then I shared a word. Then the next thing I saw on her status, today I can truly say, for a very long time, I am blessed. I really, really enjoy service today. This is somebody I've pastored for 7 years. Do you hear what I'm saying? So it is not, we are living in a days that we as men of God have allowed the mixed multitude into the church. I don't care who you are. Excuse my language. I don't care who you are. And I don't really care what you think you know. My calling is unique. My assignment is unique. There is a way I do things that if you copy it, you will be exposed. Why? Because Samuel anointed Saul and said to him, these are the things you have to look out for. Look out for. Now, how did he got the calling? The Bible said he was looking for his father's missing donkey, something that is common, something that is your routine will lead you to your destiny. He was on errand to go and look for a missing donkey. He got to a place where he failed on his own. He said, let us go back. The servant said to him, there is a man of God in this city, that whatever he says cometh to pass. That should be our confidence.
It should not be your pastor. It should be somebody who can do it.
Who got the job. There must be, if doctors could have gynecologists, pediatricians, and they can occupy the same space. When you come to the gynecologist and it has to do with pediatrician,
did you refer?
He will refer. But today, we want to be champions over everything and masters of nothing.
We are crashing the church.
We have now been introduced to certain things that are strange to us. So David said to Saul, sir, I am not opposing your legalia. I am not. If it works for you, praise be to God. But it can't work for me.
When I'm in the bush and BS,
I have my own tool. Madam, maybe your tool is the way you laugh over adversity. And people are steadily trying to educate you to make you think that it will be better if you start frowning your face. The day you start frowning your face will be the beginning of your falling. Men don't just fall. The Bible says they went to the prophet and say, alas, master, for it was borrowed. He said, where did it fall? You have to be responsible in your life. You have to know. It's not about blaming people, blaming witches and wizards.
Sometimes you can listen to yourself.
Yes.
Hear yourself, that when you do it, you feel the joy inside, that this I've done, I feel good. Anytime you do it, you feel the joy within.
It makes you know that this is mine too.
So it's not always that you should come from the pocket.
No. In as many, he said, anyone that cometh to the Lord must first believe that he is.
So are there signs and symbols and
Yes,
tokens that you can feel as a person to know that you're doing the right thing?
Yes.
Tell us.
Peace. Fulfillment.
When you do it, you feel fulfilled.
Let nobody judge you. Be the judge of your destiny. Is it right? How do we know it's right?
How do you feel after
It shouldn't be right because you think it benefits you. You only know when it is right when you put yourself in another man's shoe to say, what I'm doing to this person, if it is done to me, how would I feel?
The golden rule.
It's simple.
Do unto others.
See, I have many people that will rise against me. I have no time rising against them. I have no time. No time at all. I don't care what you think about prophet and whatever. I believe in prophecy. I'm a prophet. I believe in the manifestation of signs and wonders. I believe in miracles. I believe in breakthroughs. I've been a Muslim for 28 years. I understand the power of salvation. A man prayed for 15 years, fasted for every Wednesday in that 15 years, that God will one day save my soul. And it took 15 years of prayer for God to save me. And I was on my way to attack a man of God. And they asked that they pray over a chair. So when I went there, they gave me the chair. The moment I sat on the chair, it was like somebody poured cold water on me. And the man of God asked me, what can we do for you? A voice within me that I've never heard it before say, I want to give my life to Jesus. I'm not here to debate whether Christianity is better than Islamic. I can tell you confidently, as I'm sitting here, my morals are fashioned and they were shaped as a result of being a Muslim. But to me, as an individual, it was an encounter that God called me.
So an individual can also have the same encounter in his or her challenging time. You realize that what I'm doing is wrong, what I'm doing is right. So you must also hear what is inside, right?
That is, the Bible said there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty give them understanding. Now, this is what I'm going to say quickly. There is a spirit in man. Everybody has spirit in them. If you don't have spirit, then you can't dream. As anyone that can dream has spirit. Anyone that can suspect something and it happened has spirit.
So let me ask this. I am a man. I want to find out who I am.
Yes, sir.
There is a particular challenge going on around my office, something that I want to really find out why that is happening, around relationship, and I want to find out. I come to the prophet, he tells me, it is true. I go to a fetish priest, he tells me the same kind of information. I visit a wizard, a witch person. I visit a medium, the person tells me the same information. All these ones are giving me the same information. Will you tell me I shouldn't go to the witch doctor, or I should just look for the prophet to speak to me if they can give the same information?
Sir, who you submit to, you listen to. My sheep knows my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not hear. We are celebrating the ability to foretell as superior over the ability to be in his presence. It's not everybody that can stand in his presence. You can't.
So does that make that information false?
There is an information that is common, and there is information that is coded. He said the things that are hidden belongs to him, but the revealed ones are for us and for our children. You might have the same information, but the manifestation, the wise men knew that the Messiah has been born. That is why they were looking for Jesus to kill. They knew that the Messiah has been born. The Savior has been born. They knew. Even the fortune tellers, the witch doctors, they knew. There's a difference between knowing and make it happen. Hear this. There's a difference between knowing and making it happen.
People in the church, they prophesy, they receive prophecies a lot, nothing is happening. People go to those places and get changes.
Prophecies are not for entertainment. I see small boys parading themselves as prophets.
But there are old men who are also lying around who are also not prophets, so age doesn't come.
I'm coming. When I say small boys, it has nothing to do with age.
Thank you very much. Move it.
Small boys has to do with people who are learning to hear.
I get it now.
And they are quick to speak. There is what you hear, process it, and what you are allowed to say. We see in parts. We prophesy in parts. Whatever prophecy a man should give and must give, the ultimate foundation should be the glory of God. Not for human gratification to say, I'm this, I'm that.
That old man in that village is not looking for any praise from people. People go there. He tells them, A, B, C, this is what's happening around you. Don't do this, do and do this, that. The person that he doesn't need to people to hear him, but he gives the right information. You do it and get the results. Will you say the person is divine?
The person is spiritual.
But not divine.
The person is spiritual.
But not divine.
The person is spiritual.
You don't want to go there.
The person is spiritual. What I'm saying is that
Talk to me.
When I say the person is spiritual, whether the person is divine or what, a donkey was used.
I understand now.
When the prophet was manipulated. And today we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Why?
If your church member will leave your church and still consult a witch doctor, you have failed as a man of God.
Is it happening?
It is. It is.
Has the church failed?
The church has been misunderstood. And that has led the church.
Who created that misunderstanding?
It is our men of God did it. We are not generous with our story. So we have, over these years, proved before men that we are demigod. And the moment you put yourself as a demigod,
like you are infallible, right?
There are certain level they put you, because this is the God they can't see, mind you.
You become the face of God.
Everything about him is mysterious. So they are not expecting to see you involved in a lady, alcohol, and all these things. They can't. They shouldn't see you being angry. But Apostle Paul was able to arrive at a place of fulfillment in his ministry. Why? Because he will ask for prayers. He said, pray for us also, that utterances be given unto us. So that he has brought the people into a place of knowing that I don't just come and stand here and open my mouth and just speak.
If a member is confused about a life issue, a life problem, and you know you can help the man, what do?
You can't help.
You can't help the person in that situation. Let's say, I trust you so much that my papa, he can see. I know we are not God. We're human. Men of God are not God. They are men of God. So it's not everything that they can see. If they can see everything, then they are God. Therefore, you can't see all things. The person comes to you and tells you a problem. You know you're not getting the answer from the person. What will you
do? The Bible is so full of evidences and things that we can refer to. The Bible said the daughters of Zelophehad brought a case before Moses. And then it's something that it has never happened. So it's a law or a tradition that if a man leaves his children and they are female and there is no male, all his inheritance, they are not entitled to. So the daughters decided that this law must be repealed. So they went to Moses, and it was something that Moses didn't have the solution. Who called him? The shame is not for you, neither the glory.
So if I am rising, there must be a reason why I'm rising. If I am falling...
Let me land this answer. What I'm saying clearly is that Moses has gotten to a point where he went back to God and said, God, this is what the people are saying. What must I do? God now told him that what the daughters of Zelophehad are requesting are right. Go and do it and make sure that that law is repealed. So when you do not have the answers, it's not about you in the first place. You shouldn't be feeling bad that you pray for somebody, nothing happened. It is about God and his own wisdom. Go back to him.
I'm not getting the answer. Can I refer to another pastor? Another prophet,
I'm coming.
as doctors do?
I'm coming. You see, we have colleagues that you can tell that this person is highly anointed, but in this area.
So you can refer.
Our exchange of pulpit should not be because we are brothers, we are friends, or because our personal interests. The fivefold ministry must be connected, affiliated, and we should be open to other offices, and we must owe it to our members. It is our sole responsibility to protect our members, protect their faith by not bringing just any jaka on our pulpit because we know the person. When we are bringing someone, we should bring a person that is going to bring a balanced diet. If there is a season where you see wrong things happening, you need someone that is grace to rebuke. You see, evangelism is not because you have big mouth and you can talk and insult people. Insult is not part of evangelism.
He who descended also ascended and gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some teachers.
When
some
an evangelist come to your church, the things when you say will scatter your church, when he say it will gather your church. Because that's his office.
Yes.
He has the mandate to rebuke. Today we rebuke our members when we are not operating from that office. So they get offended. They won't understand. But we need to see. The Bible said they came to John the Baptist. They say, "Are you the Messiah?" He said, "No, I'm not."
So the key principle is that
know who you are.
Know who you are.
Now, know who you are. Celebrate your uniqueness.
Which side of Pretoria is your church?
We are in Rivera, a place called Rivera, Gazina, around Gazina.
Wow. Before I end this interview, I want to ask one simple question. And that question is that the people in the church, look at doctors, for example. We counselors, we call somebody biopsychosocial elsewhere, biologically, socially, physically, mentally. We look at everything to make sure that you're fully fit. So in my learning, I learned referral systems alone as a course, so that I understand when to refer, when it's beyond me, when to accept when they're being referred to me. Does it happen in the church? Has the church failed in this direction?
When I say the church has been misunderstood, when you take a product like KFC, they believe in uniqueness, right? And so KFC will never go to McDonald's and say, "Okay, we're short of food, so McDonald's, bring your own." But the church is a body, and the head of that body is Christ. So when a case is difficult for me, I should be able to refer it to someone. But today, even Jesus said, "My sheep knows my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not." I don't code people. I don't tell my members, "Don't listen to this person, don't listen to this person." Those that God has called for me, they will hear 1,000 men, but they will still believe in one man. It is not happening today in our churches because we are counting members instead of souls. All we want is membership. So we must make sure that I have this number of members, not the souls that are being delivered. If it is members, there won't be any need of moving from Samaria, Jerusalem, Judea. No, there should be one place. But because souls are important, we need to think more about souls. Jesus will say to them, "Go and show yourself to your people." That's how the gospel will spread. And today, to say this, today, why we having this crisis is because we want the church to honor people as men of God who are not men of God. So now we use the scriptures, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. Are you a prophet? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Are you sure that it won't prosper? Because you say this is the heritage of the righteous. Are you righteous? Are you having a right standing with God? So we need to come to that place where we understand our uniqueness and we know what is it that we carry and why God is sending us to a certain place. When, as a pastor, when I go to another church, my first interest is to be a helping hand to that ministry. So when I leave, something that he couldn't achieve on his own, by my presence, it has been added to the church. Glory goes to God. But when our interest is you come to my church and I tell you, oh, this is the person supporting this ministry, and already you are looking for ways and means to get that person's contact and to bring that person to your place, you will get the person to do that, but you will not have the grace to help the person.
So you scatter the person.
You scatter the person. Today, church members, I spoke to someone, and it's recent, just a week ago, a lady who is colonel in the military. When she came, even when I was prophesying to her, she was very negative and very, it's like defensive. You say this and she will challenge you. You say this to the point of mentioning about her account problem, which it was her first time coming to church. When I mentioned that, she still was adamant. But when she came to the office to see me, then she asked, what about the bank account that you mentioned? Are they going to pay my money? I said, do you have problem there? She said, yes. They refuse to pay me. It? Then when I asked her, she said, these days one has to be careful. Because you meet people that will tell you, even the day your great-grandmother died, they will tell you everything accurate. And then they will not be able to help you.
So she's not surprised hearing that.
So now your prophecy won't make her. If you think you can intimidate her by prophesying, she's not intimidated. But there is one thing every man of God must go for.
What is it?
And God walking with them, confirming every word with signs following. When the sign follow what you say, the same people that were crucifying Jesus were the first to take off their helmet in glory and honor to him because they saw a sign. And sign will only follow those that God has endorsed. You can meet someone, you sit there and argue, why is this person selling oil? Why is this person not selling oil? That is not my business. Because there's a dimension. We should not look at the rotten ones to disqualify the called and endorsed ones. Samuel said to Saul, as you are leaving me here, these are the signs to look out for. When all these signs come to pass, as the occasion demand, do whatever you want to do, for God is with you. But these signs must happen first. So there are people that God has walked with. And for God to allow you to get to a realm where whatever you say, God endorses it, God must first trust you that you will always give him the glory. You will always give him the glory. It's not about you. It's about God. For you to rise from one place to the other, you need to first not be interested in the rising. For Jesus said, people don't just rise. I can't just put people on position because they desire it. It's reserved for those And he said, are you able to drink of the cup that I drink of? Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy set before him despised the shame. His rising has to do with his ability to despise some shame. His rising has to do with his ability to endure some pain. If you want everything to work the way you want it, it might not lead you to where God wants you to be.
Apostle, thank you.
Welcome.
I had the West. Listen to me, if you didn't even get anything, remember, you can identify yourself as the most important thing. What you're going through, you must get the right information, because discovery brings recovery. You have to discover the problem, know it. Then you deal with the solution, because any prophet that gives you information about the problem must have a way out of it. If you don't have the way out of it, it's just as normal as any other person talking to you. He must give you the vivid instruction as to what to do at what time to come out of that challenge. If you